Alright, this is literally the third time I'm trying to record this. The first time was on Tuesday. I had a day off, and I wanted to use it to record this video, but then my whole family decided to come home. Yay! Then yesterday on Saturday I tried to record this as well, late in the evening, to find out that after an hour of recording, nothing was saved. So here I am for the third time trying to record this. I hope it goes well. So anyway, I went to Rome last month. For Americans watching this video, I'm talking about this Rome and not that one. So Rome is everyone knows Rome. I mean, it's one of the most important cities ever for Western civilization, and also one of the biggest cities of Europe with so much history. Starts back in the ancient times with the Roman kingdom, the Republic, the Empire, then the Middle Ages and Christianity and the Renaissance, and the unification of Italy, and then the Mussolini fascism, and then modern age. So there's certainly a lot to explore in Rome. On Saturday, uh, September the 21st, we went to Rome. Our flight was around 8 a.m. and so that meant we had to be at Schiphol. That's the biggest Dutch airport around 5 a.m. So certainly we had to wake up pretty early. And after 2 long hours, we arrived in at Fiuci, the airport of Rome, and we went with the bus to the camping where we stayed in bungalows. They were pretty good, by the way. I don't have pictures of them, unfortunately. And here you can see an epic montage of Rome while I'm sitting in the bus. Okay, so we arrived at the camping, we checked in and all the shit, and then we went to Vatican City, where the St. Peter's Church and the St. Peter's Square is. Ironically, the smallest country in the world has the biggest church in the world. So yeah, the St. Peter's Square. It's and the St. Peter's Church, of course. It's really big and just impressive to see. Then we went inside the St. Peter's Church. It was really hot, and also I was tired and had my stomach hurted. But that didn't really matter because I was in the biggest church in the world. And yeah, here are some pictures and videos of the church. Oh, by the way, my pictures are really crappy. Okay, so after that, we had some time to lunch. And fun fact, I went to find lunch with two other boys, and then there was some African guy. He just came to us and was like, "Hey, waka waka, you real playboy," and he started to give us some what do you call it, bracelets. Then he gave us some high fives and boxes and went to talk for a long time and was like, "Hey, yes, yes, we love Holland, very happy people." And he also showed a picture of his son. And after that, he asked for some money. Yeah, we had to give him some money. I mean, we literally already had the braces on our arms. So after that, yeah, we found out that there are a lot of these scammers, sellers in Rome. Okay, so after that, we walked a little bit on Gianicolo or something like that, and basically, we had a good view of Rome from there because it was on a hill. You know, Rome is built on seven hills, and the hill where we were standing is the so-called Eighth Hill. And there a lot of happened there. First, in the Roman age, there was some important battle between the Romans and another army, and later on, there was on this hill was a statue of Garibaldi, the guy who reunited Italy. And 2 years ago, on the same hill, our school also went to Rome with another class, of course. And then I met fucking Jake and Logan Paul, the biggest cunts in YouTube history. And of course, they started beef with one of the students. What else is new? So we continued walking, and there was some fountain and a lot of churches, like this church inside the church, which was also for Saint Peter. And then we went to Trastevere, some small square, and we had a little bit of break there. We got ice cream, and I also found this epic shirt of the Mona Lisa doing a dab. After that, we crossed the Tiber, and we walked, continued walking. We arrived at Palazzo Farnese or something, and some church, and some other churches. And after that, we let me see. Yeah, we got some free time. Yeah, let me see. At Piazza Navona, we arrived there and we got some free time to get food and all the shit. So I went with a group to a restaurant, small restaurant, and I ordered pasta. You can see in the picture. It's pasta with not with vinegar, with garlic and olive oil and pepper and all the shit. So then we returned to Piazza Navona, and yeah, looked really hot. Especially this thick fountain here. So okay, the next day we went to Metro Repubblica. Let me see, where is it? Here. And then we walked to Piazza della Repubblica. And then we walked to some church. The Santa Maria della Vittoria, as it calls. And we went inside it. It was a cool church. And we also saw a failed Fountain of Moses, because there was apparently this architect and he got the job to make a fountain. The Pope ordered it to do it. So he made his fountain, but then the statue of Moses, he just fucked it up, and the Pope was like, "Hey, I'm still gonna show this to the public so they will see how bad of an architect you are." So the architect, he got really depressed, and later that day he killed himself. Yeah, happy story. So then we returned to Chiesa della Repubblica, and we went inside let me see, the Basilica Santa Maria degli Angeli ai dei Martiri. Yeah, I think in this church there was this weird thing, and we also then we continued walking, and we saw a QR code church. We also went inside the two churches. One was designed by a man named Baramini, I think, or no, Borromini. And the other was designed by Bernini, who also made the St. Peter Square. And they were rivals of each other, and in the end, Baramini, so he designed this church, and it looked weird for the people. So they didn't really like it, and that made him depressed, so he killed himself. And he also had made a room in his church where he wanted to be buried, because he killed himself, he wasn't allowed to, because Christianity. And the other guy, Bernini, had a good life, and he made this church, which was with that color. It the colors everywhere. It was really too much, and he enjoyed it and died happy. So then we arrived at the Quirinal, and we got some free time to get food, and I did something I'm really ashamed of. I basically went to the McDonald's, not because I wanted to, but because everyone went to the McDonald's, so I didn't have a choice to go somewhere else, unfortunately. I only went to the McDonald's once. There were people who went like thrice or even four times to McDonald's. And then we walked back to the Quirinal and continued walking. We, just walked and walked. And then we arrived at the Santa Maria Maggiore, which was a really big church. And I think this was also the church with the trompe l'oeil effect, which is basically an illusion. And then we continued walking all the way up to the south, to the Santo Stefano Rotondo, which was a church, but a special church, because it was basically a church with pictures of Christians being tortured. But we couldn't go inside because there was a fucking retard who decided to marry in a Christian torture church. I mean, why marry in that? So we had to walk all the way back to the, the Pantheon. And even better news, the Pantheon was also closed. So yeah, we got some free time and to find some food, and I went to this restaurant where they can't spell chicken. And I still got really nice food, pasta of course, because long live pasta, and some stracciatella ice cream. Then we turned to the Pantheon and waited for the other teachers. And I did a T-pose while someone else did a dab. And then we walked back to metro station Sparna. And on the way we walked across, next to the Trevi fountain. But yeah, there were so many people we couldn't take a good picture of it. And we also walked through a street where Italian partitions killed 33 German soldiers in 1945. We'll come back on the story later, by the way. So here the Spanish Steps, and next to the metro station. Next day, because it's a trip to Rome, we decided to not to go to Rome, but instead go to Pompeii. So yeah, let's just look at this montage I took in the bus. Really hot landscape, by the way. Like, yes. Also, in the metro, that's in the evening, there was also a drunk guy, and he just randomly looked at me and showed his middle finger to me, so I gave him a thumbs up back. And then he suddenly was really nice and wanted me to sit next to him, and started laughing and doing weird shit. Anyway, so in Pompeii, I thought it was like a small ruin next to Naples, but apparently it was like a theme park because you had this big entrance and you had to buy tickets and shit, and then you got to walk inside. So here you see a stadium where gladiator fights were held. Then we arrived at the main city. The main city was really huge, a lot bigger than I expected, and also more intact because the houses were still pretty intact, and except the roofs. Oh yeah, people in Pompeii also liked sex because they literally made penis stones. Oh yeah, we went inside a building where they washed the clothes of people, but yeah, the people they didn't have bleach yet, so they used pee because there's also something similar to bleach inside pee. And also here's another stadium, but here where theater and shit that was held there. Then we went inside a bathhouse. There was no bath water, I'm sorry. And then we went inside the best thing of all, the whorehouse. Literally, Pompeii has a pretty intact whorehouse with pictures on the wall. Like you had 10 options to choose from in for every room, and there were pictures of it, like this, and there was literally a penis stone that showed the way to the whorehouse, best thing of Pompeii. So then we arrived at the main square of Pompeii, aka the Forum, and there was this really hot statue of Centaur and some Roman things like pillars and more pillars, even more pillars. And after that, we walked outside the main city of Pompeii and arrived at some land house with really good intact paintings. Like this is the most intact painting we have of the Roman age. Okay, so after that, we went back to Naples and got something to eat. I ordered this. Well, it's basically some sort of baguette with some vegetables, and I thought it was chicken inside it, but it was actually fish. First, I was kind of disappointed, but then I was like, oh, whoa, this is actually really good. And I also got some ice cream, Cocos. After that, we went back to the bus and drove to the Vesuvius. For Americans watching this video, the Vesuvius is the volcano that basically erupted back in the Roman Age and just basically destroyed Pompeii. Well, it didn't really destroy it. Actually, thanks to the volcano, Pompeii got preserved because it was completely covered in ash. But the people died. Yeah, we went to the Vesuvius until like the first kilometer. After that, we had to walk the rest of the thing, so I decided to walk. A lot of people didn't walk up the Vesuvius because of laziness or their backs hurted. But it was really worth the walk on the Vesuvius. Like, look at the crater. I thought it was like just small thing, a small not really deep thing, but it, look, it's just really deep and really beautiful. And also, yeah, you may think, okay, well, that's a boring view, only clouds. Well, something really epic happened because the clouds did a pro gamer move. They basically, at one point, they started to move a bit, and thanks to that, we had a really nice view of Pompeii. So then we went back down. Here you can see Naples really well. And then we drove back to the camping, and when we arrived, it was like 9 p.m. So we got something to eat at the camping, this chicken, and many people went to the McDonald's, but I and someone else, we got this chicken. First I was like, okay, maybe it's not a good idea to eat at the camping because we also got breakfast at the camping and it really sucked. The first day the Germans stole our bread. The second day we arrived early, but still fucking shitty bread. Like it's just hard and there's a big hole inside it. Okay, so but the chicken was really good and really tasty. So the next day we continued in Rome. We basically went back to the Santo Stefano Rotondo, aka the Torture Church, with pictures of Christians being tortured, and you can see there really epic pictures of Christians being tortured. Like I like this one because this guy was just chopped into pieces. And after that, we went all the way back to the big main place where all the ancient Rome things are. And we began with the Monte Palatino, the Palatine Hill, which is the hill where all the Roman emperors built their palaces. And this is the biggest palace, like and the emperor at the time, he who built them, let us build. He was crazy in his head, so he wanted the people to make to build it with some reflectable stone thing, and because he was afraid of being killed. But there was only one room where he didn't do the reflectable stone in the bathroom. But ironically, he got killed in that bathroom by his own wife. But there are a lot of other parts of the palace and other palaces of emperors as well. And because every emperor, just like every pope, wanted to build something big to be remembered of. At the end of the hill, we also got a really nice view from many things, like the Rome itself, the Circus Maximus. But the best view we got from the Forum Romanum, which was like the main square of of Rome. And here you can see all the important buildings, like many temples. This sort of Arc de Triomphe thing, but then in the Roman age. Also in the background, the statue of the monument for Victor Emmanuel. The Curia, which was the Roman Senate. And there was also some market hall here. I don't know if it's visible here. And the main road of the Forum where all the soldiers marched and that shit. Really nice view. So then we went to the Forum itself. Like here's a picture of the market hall. And after that we walked to the Colosseum. And it's really huge. It's also one of the 7 world wonders. So we went inside it and we also saw the scammers return with their peak performance. They sold water next to the Colosseum to people who wanted to go inside the Colosseum, but you aren't allowed to take liquids in the Colosseum. So yeah, that's a pretty bold move from the scammers. So we went inside and had a nice view from the Colosseum. And then we got some free time to explore the Colosseum ourselves and get something to eat after that. So we walked inside it, we bought some souvenirs, took some pictures of course, and then we went outside and we also got lunch. I got this potato thing with ketchup. I also got some ice cream, cherry Amareno ice cream. So after that we continued walking. This big building in the background, it's the monument of Victor Emmanuel. So first we're at the other side of the forum because it was not really part of the forum, but also it was kinda. And you see that the big wall here, that was basically, it separated the forum of the rich part of Rome with the poor part. So you had at once one side of the wall you had really big buildings with marmor and um, just beautiful everything. And then behind the wall there were literally people crippling and starving and dying. Here's the pillar of Trajanus. Basically, on this, he made some sort of comic about his conquest of the Romania. And oh, I got some pings in Discord. I'm sorry. The reason that this part of the forum was separated from the forum itself was because Mussolini, the retard, he decided to build a fucking huge road just through the Colosseum, destroying a lot of old buildings. So here again, the monument of Victor Emmanuel II. Basically, this was the king of Italy, I think. Yeah, it was king, and he decided, hey, let's just make a huge building, a huge monument, with the only purpose being to stand out, like to impress people. That's the only purpose of the thing. So after that, we returned to the Pantheon, which was closed on Sunday. Now it was open, so we went inside. But yeah, to be honest, I prefer the outside of the Pantheon. So then we went inside some museum behind the forum, and we couldn't take our phones with us, unfortunately. But I wish we could because holy shit, we had a really, really good view. At one point there was this window behind the forum, and we had a really, really, really beautiful view of the Forum Romanum. After the museum, we got some time to eat. I went to a restaurant and got a really good menu with some drinks, some food, and some extra food. Yeah, pasta with meatballs. The meatballs were a bit meh. So after that, we returned to the camping, and then it was the last day. At that point, I really wanted to stay in Rome, but I couldn't. So okay, first we went all the way to the Terme di Caracalla, which is basically a fucking huge bathhouse. There were slaves used to build it, of course, but like 1,000 slaves a day died while building this bathhouse. After that, we walked for an hour, and it was one of the most painful walks ever on a pretty iconic road. The Via Appia. On that road, it was also from the Roman age. You probably know the story of Spartacus, the slave who escaped, and he created a whole army of other slaves, but eventually they got defeated. So the Romans decided, hey, let's just crucify all the slaves and next to the Via Appia. So throughout the whole Via Appia, there were like crosses and crosses and crosses of slaves starving and crippling on and dying on these crosses. It was to scare the other slaves so they wouldn't start another revolution. So anyway, after a long walk, we arrived at the Catacomb of San Sebastiano. Okay, so it was a church and there were like ruins of other buildings below it, also Christian things. And there was some guy and he gave us a tour through the catacomb. Also the guy, he was Christian himself. I think he was also a priest at catacomb. And at one point, he told us to eat fish, and he also just randomly made a cross with his, like on his body, like when you touch your head, then your shoulders, and then your chest. He did it, and then he just had a minute of silence for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. After that, we continued walking, and we arrived at some square where there were two bakeries. So first, at one of the bakeries, I got a donut and bread some bread with chocolate inside it. And then I was still hungry, so I went to the other bakery. and got again these potato things. After that, we continued walking, and then we got free time. We could either go to Flaminio or Popolo and get some free time to shop and eat something, or we could go with the teachers to the EUR, which is Mussolini's neighborhood. And yeah, so first we saw this what the fuck, just this ugly building, which is like the Square Colosseum. This building is called the Workers' Palace and it's really ugly. And then we went to Mussolini's church. It's ugly because he tried to base it off some ancient Rome type something, but Mussolini is doesn't really know a lot about art. So like there's this steel thing inside it and this ugly door and this ugly painting. In this room with box and on top of it this really weird statue with like everything you said echoed throughout the whole church. So after that we got something to drink and then we went also to Flaminio with the metro and got some free time to get some food. And some people ordered pizza, not me because I don't like pizza. And they got square pizza, Minecraft pizza. I ordered some pasta and french fries and some extra myself. Oh yeah, also I forgot something really important. So while after the catacomba we arrived at something less epic. It was you probably remember the story of that street where the 33 German soldiers got killed. Well, basically Hitler he decided to take revenge for it, to kill not 33 but 330 innocent Italians to compensate for it. +5. I don't know why he just randomly did +5. He got the soldiers to randomly pick innocent people and kill them. They got all thrown inside a big hole in a cave, and then the cave got blown up. It was later dug out by family of the people, and they gave them a worthy memorial. Their bodies got put inside a coffin, and all these coffins were put in a place next to the cave. We also visited that, and there were the names and the ages and pictures of the people. After that, we returned to the camping, and we decided to hold a karaoke evening or karaoke night. First, I did something really epic. I sang Hoppa Hitler Still. So after that, really early in the morning, we had to return. We took the plane back to Schiphol. And that's it, we came back on Schiphol. So you're probably gonna ask, what did I think of Rome? Well, it was beautiful, really beautiful city. The weather on Sunday was less, it was raining the whole day. We also had it in Estonia on Saturday. The Italians themselves, well, there were many weird people, like there was this guy on a scooter who just drove by really fast and honked and showed us his middle finger. Yeah, but the people in the restaurants they were really nice. Oh, also subscribe to this channel. It's a great channel. He's also Italian, so I thought it's kind of logical to give him a shout out in a video about Italy. He really deserves so much more subs and views because his content is great, better than most of the mappers I've watched. So just go subscribe. He's also gonna upload very soon, I believe. So go subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.